So be careful here about 308.65. I'll be looking for a pullback. Here I'm looking for a pullback. This area right here is the sweet spot. If we could have opened here, I was hoping to get long, but already, SPX is going to open what, 30.81. So I mean, it's SPX is due a pullback right in here too. So is so is the SPY. So hopefully we can rip into this first hour. It's really hard to get long here. We're going to be really close to the pullback. So if we open up and just rip right into this neighborhood right here, this is what I'm going to be looking to kind of start short, at least for the fade back to that 306 area on the SPY. We could get a nice rip at the open. And if it gets carried away, we'll get a nice pullback and for maybe the next hour. But make no mistake, there's lots of room on the upside. Yeah, these are my favorites right here. Right now, let's look at Amazon real quick. So Amazon, I wanted it to pull back. I was hoping it would, but no can do. I was hoping it'd pull back in the 1760. So you just got to be really careful here. 1810, right about 1810. This thing's, it's due a pullback. If it goes through that, it's not going to get much further than, 1815. Today, I'd be a fat chance if it gets over 1815. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to get long here on Amazon yet. I mean, I want to swing this thing, but I need a pullback. I prefer a pullback, I don't know, next day or two. Maybe if we can get a pullback into 1790 Wednesday or something, I would love to get a hold of it. About the only way I'm really interested in this long is if it pulls back this morning into, I don't know, man, 1790 would be nice. 810, pull back into 1790 by tomorrow. It's going to have to be somewhere in this neighborhood before I'm touching it. I'd love to see 1760, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I'll be watching 1810, 1815 for a short back to 1790. But I really like this for the swing. So it's looking good. It's running out of time. And this thing right now, if it can get up over this 315 right here, well, it's pretty much that same area. If it can get over that, this thing's got a lot of room up on the upside. I would love to see is like 303 if this thing could flush. So I'll pop into 317 maybe to get short, because I think the market's going to pop 20 minutes or so and then sell off. So pop it up into 317, pull the trigger on the short maybe, but I'm looking at 303. I want to get 303, so I'm going to be patient on this for my swings. I want around 302, 303, maybe even the 311 if it can hold it up, but I prefer 302. So I'm going to have to give this some time. 317 short, back to 300 would be sweet today. All right, what's up, traders? So nothing too exciting on SPX today. It did come up and pop to my my target. Got a few puts there, and then I bought the gap here. It was holding it up. Got some sweet orders sitting out here in case it does wash real quick. I could get a fill on that, but other than that, man, this thing's been pretty boring. Just a little bit on the way up and a little bit on the way down. Nothing to brag about. But Tesla was a real nice one. In fact, it's still running. So let's go look at that real quick. And the ones I talked about in the video. So Amazon, if you, wow, look at Tesla still going. Nice. So on Tesla, I ended up getting, it was sitting there holding up nice around 311. We got that dip into right down here into 308, I think it was. I got 310 and 312. And then I'm not touching it again unless we can pull back into that 302 area. But I didn't have to because it ended up breaking out over that 317. So took some profits and added. And I've got some, plan on swinging this. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Why I'm planning on swinging it. There's a lot of room to the upside here. So the daily doesn't do it justice. Let's get the weekly out here. So it's finally back up over here. It's been running around in negative territory for a while into that 300. Finally broke it. I mean, this got a lot of room to move. It's got some 350 action coming up here pretty quick. We already tried it once, 340. So we'll test that 340. We got to get through, 325, 340, 350, 360s next. And one of the main things behind this is I think the market's going to keep going. So, but I'll talk about that here in a little bit. So Tesla's looking pretty good. So my plan is to, I want to be short off of that 317 if it couldn't break today, but it did. So I never touched the puts. And then you know, for the fade back to 302, pick up some calls for the long, and then if it did break down, there's a big air pocket right here, man. There's no volume. So if this thing were to crack that 298, it'd be back down to 250, 260 in a hurry. So I definitely want to be short if that happens, but it's looking like it's going to work better on the long side. So I built into my position today. I got quite a few strikes across, headed to 360. So let's see what else. That's Tesla and Amazon. I talk about that. Amazon. So let's get this up here on the weekly too. So Amazon, if you look at it on the daily, it's a little bit different picture. It's holding up the 200, you know, it finally cracks, can't get back over it. You know, even the 20 MA has crossed it. It's usually a pretty good, you know, indication of shorts under the 200 MA. But like this morning I was saying, it's been knocking on the 200's door here. And if it can get through that, you know, it's got another little bit of work to do around, you know, 40 and 50. But if it can get through this here, we ought to have a nice breakout up in that neighborhood. So, and like I was saying this morning, I had to get through 10, 15 area first. But now if you look at the weekly, it's an even better picture. It's got the 20 MA on the weekly to contend with. But you can see every time it gets back over that 20 MA, it likes to take off. So it took off here at right here at $1,000 roughly, and in 17, and it never even touched it again until here. So anyway, it's a mover all the way on up to the highs. It's weekly 20 MA is pretty nice. Simple moving average, simple 200. Once it breaks back under it, usually makes a pretty good short all the way back to the 200 or, you know, some other targets. But anyway, so you can see here, we haven't even closed a single candle over the 20. It just follows it, right? Finally closes a candle over it and boom. So that's what I'm looking for. If we can get up and trade up over here and close the candle, if we can close the week, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 40, 50, pull back, hold the 20, and then boom. And of course the market's going to have to go to, you know, be in a position to keep going higher. I mean, it can pull back, but that's not going to happen if the market, you know, drops 20% either. So anyway, so that's Amazon. I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm swinging that. And look at NVIDIA. Talked about NVIDIA this morning off of 202, and look at it. I'll show you this chart real quick, just to do you a favor, but look at this thing. See, it's going to 220. Yeah, it's got some room to 220. Nice move to 220. It'll be, if the market keeps going, it's not gonna get there in a straight line, but it'll be 220, pull back, you know, it'll be back at highs by the end of the year if the market keeps going. So I really like that, swinging that one too. I just didn't bring it up in the video. And Roku and quite a few other ones actually. Bunch of good swings, man, that we found this weekend. But it's always like that at the beginning of the month. Love it. Apple, if it can't crack that 260, it's in trouble, or at least get a pullback into 250. It's due for one. It's been on a tear. Anyway, so there we go. Again, like I was saying this morning in that video, I mean, I have my model. I calculate these numbers, and that 15 area, I'm gonna hit it to the freaking penny. You know, it's crazy. Hit it to a penny, pulled back to 1808, just what I was looking for right here. You know, so I sold and added quite a few times here on the way up. Paid myself, got my other swing positions. I was really wanting the 1790, and then I was hoping that we would kind of swing back into the 200 MA. You know, maybe pull back a little bit with the market this week, but not going to happen. I'd have picked up some different positions along the way down to 1760. But anyway, didn't happen. So with that breakout and everything, it just would not come back under 18. I just had to take a different setup and start working it. So anyway, I built into my position for the swing. I just didn't get the sweet entries I wanted. So I started in smaller and, you know, sized up as I went. And Tesla, man, look at this thing go. 25 on deck. Okay, so what's next, man? What do I say? What's next? So here's one of the things that I like to do here, that if you can prove the market, if you can you know, collect data on the SPY, SPX. So if you can prove what the market's going to do with some kind of reasonable, you know, high probabilities, then most of the stocks I trade are going to follow it. And if they don't, it's even easier to trade them because they have relative weakness or relative strength. So if I know where the market's going, it gives me a huge edge with the stuff I trade. So I'll give you a quick tip on some of that stuff. Technical analysis is really good too, but I also have a model that I do calculations on, and that's what all these are. These are calculated numbers and stuff from my model. I use ES as a gauge. It tells a lot about what's going on, especially overnight, how it trades, and then the SPY and the SPX. So what do I think is coming up? Well, tell you what, I guess I could use the SPY, but I don't want to. What I want to do is use SPX. So these are all my calculated levels. These have been up since way back. I didn't just put these here now, they've been here. I calculate them every week, every day. Let's get up a higher time frame, we can see it better. So I know that the bears think the sky is falling and the market's just up on air and blah blah blah. I like the bear case. I hear it. I like to listen to it because I'm a natural bull. So, but anyway, this here is, this move has room like 3,300. It's just getting started. It's not anywhere near overextended. I can kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So anyway, it's just, you can see it's just sitting here nice and cruising along. It's nice, tight. It's been tightening up and tightening up, tightening up. It's not even a big move. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go to 3,300 quick, but I'm saying it's possible. We're not going to get there in one move by any means. So I think 31.15 is the high, which I'll show you that here in a minute. That's about what we're going to reverse. But there's still lots of room for this move to work. So by the end of the year, I think if we get that pullback and things hold up, 20 MA is a nice guide on all the large cap stocks. That's all I use, the 20 MA and the 200. And volume profile and volume. And then some of my calculations, math. Like this 3080, man, I love it. So the 20 MA is just kind of cruising. We're getting, price gets extended from the 20 MA, it wants to pull back. So, but my calculations are showing about 31.15, and then we'll get some kind of pullback, and I'll show you what I'm looking for here, or how what's important to me anyway. Not what I meant to do. Okay. So, I mean, as you can see, we're just, we do a little consolidation, we step up, we do a little consolidation, we step up. The market's just doing a nice little slow grind to wherever, people run out of money, stop buying, or institutions do. So this is what I look for. And like I said, these levels are calculated. They were calculated from, I've been calculating them, for this whole year. I calculate them on a weekly basis and on a daily basis. So these were all here before the move. So it gapped up right above my calculations this morning, 307.9, and held it all day. Pretty boring day, uneventful, but it also means that the bulls are still in charge. There's really no selling. There's no sell pressure to break this down. So we have some consolidation. We got to give a chance to take profits and accumulate positions and all that good stuff. And that happens around here. We got a pretty quick move, a couple of steps up. I wouldn't be surprised to see it consolidate in this range between 30.91 and 30.67. Now, what I need to see, what I want to see that convince me this is a healthier move is, I want to see these things start trading back. And when they don't, and they just keep going up, that's fine, because the fall is usually a lot faster. So I don't care what it does, we'll play however. But I'm looking for this 30.91, and then I'm expecting, a pretty decent pullback from that. And I'd like to see it come back from there and test this, close that gap, and continue. So, but if it would have closed this today and broke it, then I'd be looking for that, and then, just kind of continue. So basically, I'm looking for You know, you can screenshot it if you're interested, but I'm basically looking for my orange lines through the yellows, you know, pull back. It's kind of something like that. It never trades just like that, but you can see if it consolidates, you know, it still respects them, comes back, closes it, holds up the gap, closes the gap, holds the gap, maintains the 30.19. Well, actually, it was actually maintaining it to the penny. It was like 30.21 is what was calculated back then. So anyway, the calculations changed based on some stuff, volume profile and things. Anyway, so look at all this thing, man. It's just cruising. What's it going to do now? It's going to keep going up. I don't see any reason why not. I mean, surely at some point we're going to come back and test all-time highs, but I'll give you some clues on, you know, what's overextended. Well, I can tell you, you know, you start getting around $100 from the 20 MA, and it wants to pull back. I mean, we are at 30.85 roughly, 30.80 right now, so we're about 80 bucks. I've seen it go a lot further than that from the 20, but it's just time to start paying attention between 80 and 100 bucks. You know, so like right here, the low of this was 28.22 roughly. You know, 160 bucks roughly, 180 bucks, right? So it can go further, no doubt about it. But usually right around $100, you know, 80 to 120, somewhere in that neighborhood, it's time to start paying attention. So we're getting there, we're getting close. And then this is my calculated levels. I got 3103. That's also a calculated level, and I'll be surprised if it hits 3115. But I think if it pulls back and it consolidates and holds some key levels, and then I think it has a better chance. But if it kind of just rips up one day, I'll be looking for that 3103. Well, 3115 is probably going to hit no matter what. I think that's about as far as this move is going to go without some time consolidating. So tomorrow, excuse me, what are we going to do tomorrow? Well, all depends on the ES, all depends on the gap. You know, so much of this can't be decided now. I want to see the price action in the morning and all that. But if we do continue doing what we're doing, we're basically trading from, you know, one high to the next, right? We broke a new high, pull back, pop, break a new high, you know, pull back. This one here, we didn't get a healthy pullback, which would have been nice, you know, back into here for that continuation. So, I mean, it's kind of like, I call it up on air. It's just kind of floating up here. It's just a matter of time. So I think it needs to pull back, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to do it, but there's no selling. So, I mean, unless there's a catalyst and some bad news or some Trump tweets or something, you know, the bulls aren't selling. You can tell they're just, you know, the volume's really light. Volume's been decreasing all day long. There's nobody selling. There's no sellers up here. So, you know, they're not trying to send it down. Until that happens, it's going to stay up here. So, you know, we probably consolidate, and then if it doesn't do something in the next couple of days, we'll slowly start filling the gap and just keep chop back down till we test all-time highs again, 30.38, 30.43. This would be ideal for me anyway. I'd love to see this. So that would be what I'd like to see. We are getting pretty extended, but if it stays up here and consolidates, then, you know, time and price start meeting in better spots, and everybody gets more comfortable, and there we go, off to the long side. So I'm looking for long. So that's my whole point, is everything I like to trade, I'm looking for longs. The good money is on the long side. Now, there's definitely money to be made short, but I want to be on trend. So, you know, I want to be long these things like NVIDIA, you know, from 132, right? That's what I'm talking about. From October 3rd, you know, I want to be long these things this whole time. Day trading options on them. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's definitely always a short, you know, there's money to be made on the short side. Test 340, pulls back, made some money on the short side right here and got long at 290. So, I mean, again, here's the 20 MA. 20 MA on the 60-minute. Even Tesla respects it like no other. So, I mean, this thing's in a nice uptrend. You know, the 200 has got, it's going to, you know, if it consolidates here a little bit, that's even better. Take a little bit of time off the clock. But that's what it's been doing here. So, anyway, all the big money is on the upside. Netflix, I've almost forgot to talk about my baby. So, Netflix, I'm looking for 298.50 area. And if that blows through, then it'd be 302. So I was looking to get long, but I missed it. So I missed this whole move. Unfortunately, I had the puts all the way down to 255, and then I got some long triggers here and I missed it. And then after that, I just couldn't find a good spot that I liked. Well, I'm too busy trading SPX, man. That thing makes me a lot of money, so that's about it. And then Roku fell off the table today all the way back into here, which is perfect. That's what I needed. We're looking for a place to get long on Roku again. So you can see the 20 and the 200 on this one is also very well respected. So anyway, that's another good one. Shop's another good one. And Netflix, let's talk about Netflix here. I'll show you something cool on Netflix. It's got still another 40, about another 40 bucks today to the 200. Just keep an eye on this. If it can break out that 300, there's a lot of times we get a nice breakouts on Netflix. So this is a nice one. We got to get past this area here though. So, but if we can, then we'll boom quick all the way up to the 200, and for a nice reject, because it's not going to go through it the first time. So pull back into 300, continue. So now that we finally got some volatility back, I quit trading it this whole time right here because it's just miserable. It used to have a $13 ATR, and now it has like a 7 because of all this year chopping around. So I quit trading it once right around March when it just kept chopping, and then I didn't touch it till it broke 282, and then I've been trading it again. So finally got the volatility back. Let's keep your eye on Netflix. If it can get over 300, I'm looking to get short 298, at least the first try. 298.50 area and up to 302 is where I'm looking to get short. So, but like I said, at least the first try. I think it's probably going to break it. It just won't be the first go around. So short up in that neighborhood, with that pullback into the back into that 280, 290 area, 285 if I'm lucky, probably more like 290. Anyway, that's it. See ya. Peace.